And hello, and welcome back to the Husky Bible Podcast. This is Ariel. We are back because you can apparently through the reels, you cannot take enough wrestling content. and it's amazing. Like, you know how many wrestling podcasts are there? It's like, oh my god, and not even by guys like us who are like fans. I'm talking about wrestlers have their own podcast. I mean, the Undertaker's in the game now too, so it's like
Yeah, it's crazy.
it's crazy.
Everyone's doing a podcast.
Yeah, and it seems that you guys are like, well, we like your opinions too. So
Hey, I'll take it.
yeah, I mean, Mickey Juice is kind of taking like a backseat lately. Well, I mean, he's laying low. I probably his lawyers are calling him daily, like, dude, just lay low. Like, just the mention of the name McMahon is like it creates like an itch thing, like,
Yeah.
like, no. So just lay low, like, count your monies, all that Endeavor TKO money that they gave you, your severance pay. Just take all that money and go to a tropical island and do whatever the disposition said.
It's crazy. Our biggest views on YouTube on our shorts or reels, whatever we want to call it.
Yeah.
CM Punk.
Your favorite wrestler?
No, yeah. And the dark truth about wrestling styles. And then the Tyson fight was all.
Oh, all of which we'll cover.
Yeah, we'll cover it again. But those were our biggest views.
Yeah, so I mean, we're listening, we're hearing you, so we're giving the people what they want. Basically, we're giving the people what they want
We're just
in a good Christian and good Christian boy style.
Yeah,
You know where I got that expression, "the good Christian boys"?
What?
That came from actually Kevin Owens, back when he was an independent wrestler. Because you got to understand, he was before WWE, he was an independent wrestler, and he was wrestled under his actual real life name, Kevin Steen. Okay. So he used to wrestle a lot all over the country, mainly in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. That's a promotion that exists in California. That's where he met the Young Bucks, and also he met Adam Cole. Adam Cole, who was in WWE, now in AEW, and they formed a team or a faction called the Mount Rushmore of Wrestling. So Kevin Steen, I don't know if you know, he cusses a lot, and he was throwing F-bombs here and there on a promo because it's not televised. It's a local promotion. And any videos that they do it for the internet, so there's no censoring. So he just went off script and just cut a promo cussing up a storm, and then he says, because I'm a piece of you know what, and he told Adam Cole, you're also a piece of you know what, not these two, because these two are two good Christian boys. So that's where I got the expression good Christian boy. I mean, the Young Bucks just ran with it. They even made T-shirts out of good Christian boys.
Hey, it sticks.
So we can't go, I was thinking about, maybe we should do this, but no, then we're gonna get sued by the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, we want to make money, not lose money. It has not made money yet. It's a little inside baseball, but we're trying to get there. Like the reels are coming, so keep on watching them. That might knock the door on YouTube, and YouTube is like, oh, y'all reaching peoples. We should give you monies. And we were like, we would like it. Yes, please.
We take.
We would like it. Yes, please. Yes, please. We would like it. Anyways, no more jibber jabber on that end. We'll just go in right away. So last week we talked about the Survivor Series was going to be last week, and last week has come and gone. That was the week for no, it wasn't for Thanksgiving, right?
No,
it was.
No, we recorded it, I think, the day before Thanksgiving.
But that was last week.
Was it?
I believe so. We gotta check. Like, really? Did
no. No, it was 2 weeks ago.
Okay, 2 weeks ago. But The thing is, last week was a Survivor Series. Okay, that did happen last week, Survivor Series. So a little quick recap of what happened because we don't go for the blow for blow thing. No pun intended. uh, so Team Rhea that was wins the women's War Games match as Rhea Ripley's team. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated LA Knight to become the new United States WWE United States champion. Braun Breaker defeated both Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser for the Intercontinental title. Gunther defeated Damian Priest for the to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. And the OG Bloodline won the men's War Games match. That one we have a lot of stuff to cut there. And that last one, because there's a lot of things that happen. CM Punk, your favorite wrestler, the guy that you like to use Vader against, so he can break every bone in his digital body in WWE 2K24, which is available still. I mean, until WWE decides to release 25, which he will officially be part of the roster, I imagine. You won't have to be a DSL thing.
I don't have to pay for it, and I can still
yeah, you don't have to pay. It'll come directly on the game, I believe. Because I mean,
but hopefully I can unlock Vader. Or Vader comes with it.
No, I don't think Vader's going to come with the game. I mean, have you noticed lately that these games they just keep thinning the roster, but you can just buy DSLs. Like at this point, if you're a sucker for these kind of things, man, you pay for that game twice or 3 times already.
Yeah.
You want to know what the biggest scam is? The AEW game. That's the biggest scam out of them all. Because they just doing like they like doing 3 or 4 games already inside the actual game, and all of them are DSLs. And which is one of the reasons why I stopped playing the game. I mean, because it was like an okayish game. It had the same control set as No Mercy, which it gave you like, you know, good nostalgia feel. But then you're like, one, they don't even do the full entrance. Because you're already, no. If you play the game, they don't do the full entrance. So you're like, okay, it's not for lack of not having the bandwidth to do it. Like I remember, I understand back in the 90s because there was only so much you can do in a cartridge game, like in N64. But now you got like 40 gigabytes of
but
in those
No
Blu-rays.
Mercy, No Mercy did a full entrance.
They don't. They just stand in the ramp, do their pose, and that's it.
Sure.
Yep. Dude, I mean, you're not here, but if we were here, I'll just plug it in and show you.
Well, I have the N64 here. I guess it's been a while since
I'm talking about the AEW game. I'm talking about the AEW.
No, I'm talking about the N64.
No, the N64 I remember, yeah. There were some N64 games that did, some of the old WWE or WCW ones that didn't do the full entrance. But then there were others that, they did do the full entrance. But this one in AEW is like, that thing came out so premature. It's like it was completely half-baked. So, and it's a pity because they were promoting that game for like 4 years. And that game came out, what was it, last year? Yeah, it was last year that came out. And it was, well, I mean, we already talked about that in previous podcasts back when the game came out. That was, half baked. It was. Let's just resume it this way: the path towards hell, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So I guess I would describe it that way. Anyway, going now back to Survivor Series. There's a bunch of things that happened that last match. Specifically, Bronson Reed, like completely gelatin his ankles. When he tried to do a tsunami from the top of the cage, he did a tsunami. He was going to land on Roman, and Punk pulled Roman out of the way. But the way he threw himself, he was like trying to make sure he didn't put the weight on him on the table. So he was like trying to land on his feet, which for a 400-pounder from that height is not a recommended move to do. Like, I would just ate the table. I would have just ate the table. I mean, he has a lot of girth and mass. probably the table would have exploded, which the table did explode on him. But that's not the point. The point is that when you see in slow motion how those ankles just go blah 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 blah. Yeah. I saw that and I was like, "Oh, Sid Vicious 2020, 2000 in WCW memories coming back." If you don't know, that's the part where Sid Vicious, who passed away this year, by the way,
I remember,
threw himself from the third rope, which he had no business. A 6'8" dude jumping from the third rope with legs like twigs. He had no business doing that move. But I digress. He threw himself, and well, nature took its course, and that leg just went like this.
Didn't Edge do the same thing?
Yeah, Edge did exactly the same thing that happened to Bronson Reed, and he's been out since. I mean, he's recovered now, but since he has to do the Percy Jackson series on Disney Plus, AEW is not going to use him so he can do filming because he's going to start filming in January. He's been medically cleared for like a month or a couple of months now, but since he has to do the series, AEW is not going to touch him. And that's why he's going to go and do the filming on January. So just to make sure he don't get hurt again because, I don't know, dude is almost 50 or he is 50 already. So, yeah, you don't want to have somebody get hurt anymore. But, okay, so, yeah, the OG Bloodline won. And there was a little skit that CM Punk wanted to revisit from back in his days in AEW. Specifically, the one from Brawl Out, or All Out, but it's infamously called Brawl Out because that's the night that he engaged in fisticuffs with other EVPs of AEW back when he was still employed by them, which we'll get into that later as well because, oh my God, CM Punk has become our new benefactor. Whether we like it or not, he has become our new benefactor because the dude cannot stop being in the news. Anyway, so he kind of wanted in the press conference after Survivor Series, he kind of wanted to have a repeat. So he says, like, can we have some muffins? As in a clear jab into what he did in the presser for All Out in 2022. When he was giving his infamous rant right in front of the boss, his former boss, was just eating a bunch of muffins. So they sent him some pastry, but it wasn't muffins. And then when he looked at it, it was like, what the hell is this? This is not even muffins. He showed it to Jay, and Jay was like, "Yo, no, you got the order wrong, man." He was talking above it. Over his brother, he was like, "No, you got the order wrong, man. We're going muffins. We wanted muffins." So we had that little fun moment, but going now directly into what happened on Raw. Drew McIntyre came back, laid out Sami Zayn. We already planted the seeds between Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Although Punk said he won't give Seth Rollins the time of day because said 6 months ago you had something I want. Now you ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing to do with you. You know, being it real, keeping it real, just keeping it real. And also, the New Day got a revamp. They're now bad guys, and they kicked out Big E. Big E, who has been out for like 2 years because he suffered a broken neck. And they were using this situation and storyline as the reason why they kicked him out because he hasn't been there anymore. And by doing that, they turn into mega heels, like mega bad guys, because you don't kick a man while he's down, right? You don't kick a man while he's down. So that also gives opportunity to people talking about that maybe Big E is going to come back because why would he do a program like this to make him look like a punk, right? Why would he make himself look like a punk? So there's speculation that probably he's going to get the medical clearance to come back. I mean, when you think about it, Edge came back. Daniel Bryan came back. Stone Cold Steve Austin came back. Like, there's a plethora of guys that came back. Ric Flair should have never wrestled after that plane crash from the 70s. and he got a good 30 plus year career afterwards. So there's a rule in wrestling: it's never say never. So like you don't know. Like Edge was the one that convinced me of that, because when I saw Edge coming out in that Royal Rumble, I was like, miracles are real. I believe in miracles. I believe in miracles, because I was like, that man is toast. I was like, by every imagination, everything that they've told us, it's like if that man sneezed too hard, he was gonna be quadriplegic. It was under that assumption. I was like, no, that dude cannot take a bump for the rest of his life. But since he left the ring for like almost 9 years, I guess his neck healed enough, gave him enough time to heal. Well, and now he's breaking ankles and legs. And now he's breaking his ankles and legs now instead.
Yeah, well, instead of going head first, you go feet first. I mean,
lesson learned.
Why
not? Lesson learned.
Why not?
Like, it was my neck that was messed up. I don't care about my legs. They can heal themselves.
Oh yeah, that'd be smart.
So going back to our buddy, CM Punk, in the situation we kind of brushed up a little with the brawl out, which basically was the catalyst of what became his exit from AEW. A guy has spoken out recently this week. It's a very convoluted story. I'm not going to give all the details, because you can go just to Fightful Select and go search the whole article there, because this is a very detailed thing, and I'm just going to brush over it because we're not going to dedicate the whole podcast just for that. But Ryan Nemeth, who is Nick Nemeth's brother, aka Dolph Ziggler, Dolph Ziggler's younger brother, he was called as the Hollywood hunk Ryan Nemeth in AEW. He is currently wrestling for Impact Wrestling because he was released at the beginning of the year from AEW. Now he's claiming that he was like silently fired from AEW because of CM Punk. And because apparently he was one of the reasons why Punk got let go, according to him. And allegedly he has proof of this with emails, voice notes, and whatnot, between communication between people higher ups in AEW and him. At one point, he said that he was even asked to be antagonistic both on TV and on social media towards CM Punk, like to try to provoke him. And that's where he came out with a tweet where CM Punk got hurt. He came out with a tweet that said, "Literally the softest man alive." And he said, and he alleges that that was under the orders of the bosses in AEW. And apparently he was trying to get communication with Tony Khan for his situation, his status in the company. And he was just getting the runaround by other people instead of Tony Khan. So Tony Khan never got fully addressed the situation. Everything stems out of when they were trying to do that other show, Collision, which has done gangbusters, sarcasm included. Like, nobody watches that show. Nobody watches it. Because they created that show specifically for Punk. That show was created for him. That was going to be like their SmackDown.
Okay.
And he was going to run it. He was going to, like, they were trying to do a roster separation. To split the rosters. So that way everybody that has heat with Punk stays in Dynamite. And everybody that likes to work with Punk can stay on Collision. So they were going to give him, like, so that was like their way, or not their way, let's be honest. That was Tony Khan's way of having his cake and eating it too. You know, he wanted to keep Punk. That's the whole thing. He just wanted to keep Punk. But he wasn't willing to do what was needed to be done. Like, we kind of talked about this before in other podcasts, but we'll say it now for the benefits of our new audience that are listening to us now. The moment Brawl Out happened, that was the moment he had it, like, out.
Yeah.
The moment Brawl, I mean, I don't know what provoked the situation. None of us do. You and I were not there. We are not privy to the whole facts of what happened. But you got to call a spade a spade. If one guy is causing so much problems in a company, that's the time you got to take action. But if you're going to, try to tread lightly with that kind of stuff, no, man, you're the boss of a company. You take ownership of what's going on and you handle your business. Like, this is business. Like, oh, but I'm a fan. You cannot be a fan of these dudes. Like, you're their boss. You got to tell them what's good. You got to tell them what is up. Like, you're the bottom line. Like, you can say whatever you want about Minky Juice, and it can be totally merited. But one thing Minky Juice got Tony Khan beat to the T's, other than the other stuff, the alleged stuff, that's on trial. Other than that. But in terms of how to be a boss, Vince McMahon got him beat. Like, Vinny didn't give a damn to fire your behind in a moment's notice. He didn't. It was like, oh, you don't like it? There's the door right there. You see that thing? You see that rectangle right there? That's right there. Walk through it. You can walk through it, and don't let it hit you in the behind.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's one thing you can say about Vinny Mac, that I will give him all the benefits for that. He didn't take no, well, with the exception of DX. We're not gonna go there. That's a whole. Anyway, he didn't take no crap. Like, if you were not up to snuff and you were just causing problems, bye Felicia. That was bye Felicia. And this Tony Khan was like just trying to no, but so like trying to fix things, but without actually fixing it, So it created a whole environment in AEW. And by the way, Nick Nemeth said that situation between Punk, he said, I don't necessarily blame Punk for it. He said, I don't necessarily blame Punk for it, because he said that was already happening way even before Punk was in the company. So he said, and look, he said that, I don't know if because he doesn't want to go into legal trouble with Punk or with WWE at this time. Although this is not WWE's fight, because this happened way before the fact that they hired him. So WWE ain't got a dog in this fight. So maybe because Punk has been known to, oh, you want to talk smack about me? Let's go to court. That's his go-to. Like, if you talk smack about him, let's go to court. We'll go to court. And you know what? He's won. He's won all the cases. Every time he goes to court, he wins. So the dude lawyers up good. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying he does what he has to do. He goes and does what he has to do. Okay. Throw shade at him. You're entitled to. You're done.
I'm just repeating what you said earlier. You said the guy said he was soft and he was told to say it, but maybe that was just true feelings.
I don't know. Again, I don't have a dog on this fight. I don't know what the details. We're just expressing his version of the fact, what he calls the facts. That's his version of the truth. Regarding if this is true or not, I don't know. AEW has said none of the. Oh, by the way, he said Ryan Nemeth said that AEW tried to get him to sign an NDA to not talk about this situation before. They were trying to tie him up with that, but since they didn't give him the money, he was like, "Okay, so my lips are unsealed then." To start singing. So, there's a lot of ways there's more than one way to skin a cat. So there's more than one way you can view all of this. You can say that he probably feels some type of way of how he was let go. And he's probably trying to steer the pot a little bit. But at this point, look, I feel like just leave this thing with Punk alone. I mean, the whole AEW with CM Punk on the AEW thing is left a bad taste on everybody's mouth.
Yeah, but that's the only way AEW is gonna be relevant.
Oh boy, you said it, not me. Because
what else do they got going for them?
It's
one of their best guys is doing Disney shows. Okay.
Look,
what else do they got for them? They're bleeding money. Say this. They're renting out arenas that only could do 3,000 people, and they're probably filling half of those seats. So
it's been look, and say about whatever you want about Punk. Ever since he left, that company has been taking a nosedive. Ever since he left, it started exactly the moment that they announced he's gone.
Well, maybe people saw the writing on the wall.
Like, okay, like you can have your thing against Punk, but you can't deny this. The dude was the needle mover there. He was the needle mover.
Well, yeah, there.
No.
Who else
In
was there?
WWE, he's just another smoke in the wheel. They got a bunch of guys that they can depend on. He's probably option 4. You know, he's probably option 4 or 5. Because they like Punk can leave today and WWE be like, we're still printing money. We're still printing money. They were printing money before he came back. I mean, he hasn't hurt them either. He's been all this controversy. He's like, they're smiling because they're like, yes, dude, keep selling it and keep behaving, because the dude has been on his best behavior ever since he came back. He's been like a little puppy. He's like, yes, master, I'll do whatever you want. He's been on his best behavior.
I would love to see that contract.
They probably put so many actors. If you do this, bye. If you do that, bye.
If like, you clog the toilets at the stadium, you're gone.
If you hawk in the washer in the locker area instead of in the toilet, gone. Like that's scary. You go to jail.
You go
like that's scary. You directly to jail. You go to this, you go to jail. You go to jail.
Ah, man.
If you do this, believe it or not, you go to jail. So basically,
love to just look at that contract. Just look at it and see how much this guy is biting his tongue.
Yeah, but I guess like every time he's behaving good every month, they give him a little incentive.
Yeah, he's 250,000.
Yeah, here's 250. He's like, you know what?
Thank you, Mr. H. Thank you.
Thank you, Papa H. Thank you, Dwayne, because Dwayne is part of the directors now. So thank you, Dwayne. It's good to be connected.
Dwayne's too busy trying to save Santa.
Well, that's another subject for another. Anyway, so speaking of AEW, we gotta go cover this. Ricochet was in an interview this past week, and the dude had the unmitigated gall of saying that he is the reason why there is an AEW. The dude, how long has he been in the company? Like 3 months?
I don't know. You know more of him than I do.
It's been like 3 or 4 months since he's been in the company.
Behind the ears.
And he's saying that he is the reason he's in the company? Like, you ain't even got a calendar year in the company. You're already saying that you're the reason? I mean, I understand when you see the video and see the context, you understand what he's trying to say.
He believes in himself.
No. Because he was already a household name in the independent circuit. And you got to understand that AEW is basically a glorified independent show. And the numbers show it. This independent show because nobody watching it. So you got to be a hardcore fan. So anyways, his high-flying style, because he has a high-flying style, and he used that style and he made himself a name for himself, and that's what got him into NXT. Then in WWE, he was like, playing cards in the back with the APA. He was backstage, like they call it, curtain jerking in the back, doing nothing. Hey, that's what they called it. That's the expression. I'm not saying that he was actually literally doing that, but just behind the curtain doing nothing. It's just sitting around and catering, thumbling his thumbs, like.
Okay, if that's what they want to call it.
Okay. Anyways, so and then he comes to AEW, to the reaction of everybody's like, okay. I mean, he's happy. because he's getting paid. That's one thing Tony Khan can do good. That he's giving these guys a truckload of money. Like they seem like he didn't say the amount that they gave him, but he said like good chunk of change. So a good chunk of that's more money than I even saw in WWE. And WWE don't pay cheap. But then again, he wasn't. He in this case, Ricochet, he wasn't. One of those wheels that we were talking about. One of those guys that you depend on. He was more like a background guy. An enhancement talent, if you will. Trying to be nice. Trying to be nice. I'm not a wrestler. I cannot even imagine doing the moves that he does because my body would. Yeah.
A bench warmer.
If you want to say so, okay. Potato. What are these words? We're not giving birth to words here. I mean, you want to pick the description that you want to pick. I mean, this is a free country. This is a free country. You pick the description you want. So yeah, him saying that, but the way that you hear it, it's like, do you unmitigated gall on this guy? It's like when you hear that, like, I'm the reason there's an AEW. It's like, really? Like, I thought it was the Young Bucks, Cody, and Kenny Omega were the ones that made the company. I thought that was their idea, and Tony Khan was the benefactor. I thought that was the origin of AEW. I mean, I used to watch Being the Elite. That was the YouTube channel the Young Bucks had, that which basically was like mandatory watching every Monday, every day the videos came out. And that's where you saw the whole origin of AEW, because it was like a video, a vlogging experience of how everything started, and you got in real time share of how everything started for AEW. And it was an exciting time because you were like, finally, there's more options out there than just seeing the boring product that Minky Juice was putting out there, that apparently he was the only one that was a giant fan of, whereas everybody was just tolerating it because we were like, what's WWE? This is supposed to be the Mecca. This is supposed to be the place. And it sucks, but I mean, well, you follow your teams, and sometimes your team is not up to snuff. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. But you're not gonna hate your team because they suck. I mean, you're angry at them. You want them to do better, but you're not gonna be like, you know what? Screw you, I'm out of here. You're not gonna be like that. Same thing with us with WWE. It's like, you suck right now, but we're in this for the long haul. We ain't going nowhere.
I might be giving up on the Jets.
You heard it here first.
That might be a team to be like, you know what? I'm out.
When are we gonna do the ceremonial burning of the jersey?
And,
are we switching to the Cowgirls?
Oh,
never.
No. I'd rather be a fan of the Giants before I do that.
Don't be disparaging the Giants now. I mean, we're kind of saying they're kind of in the same boat.
Or, I can't be a fan of the Patriots.
No, that goes without saying. That goes without saying.
Yeah, but go ahead. We can continue with the wrestling. While I heal my heart over here.
It was like, oh, that feels so good. I bet you want to say a few things. A certain quarterback from that team. You should have broken his other Achilles.
Should have ripped his arm off.
Tell me how you really feel. Tell me how you really feel.
Or ripped it off and hit him with it.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna go Shawn Michaels on me and shove it down where the sun don't shine.
No, I just want someone to rip his arm off and just beat him with it. Just feel like,
hey,
here,
God.
block it.
So I think that was therapeutic for you now. So
yeah, I'm okay. Thank you.
I'm like,
Let me.
That reminds me. Don't Be a Menace. Remember when they started stomping on the dude? They left him like just. All of our references are all over the place. The minute we'll start doing pops.
I like when they had. I like how they had when he had the tank. He goes, "Don't Remember he had the tank and he had the controller with it. I think.
Oh, the nuclear warhead.
Yeah.
Do we have a problem? USSR. And some of you younglings may be like, what are they talking about? Don't be a minute to South Central while we're drinking your juice in the hood.
I actually have a coworker that almost did his hair like Marlon in that movie.
Like Loke Dog?
Yeah, he just didn't have what was in his hair.
Oh yeah,
but he had those little.
We're not going to talk about that paraphernalia on that.
But you know what I mean. But he had like the little. He had those little. Each thing.
Oh my god!
I was like, you look like Marlon Wayans in that movie. And he goes, I know what you're talking about. And I forgot the name of it for a second, and I was like,
Don't be a menace.
Like, don't be a menace. He goes, yeah, I remember that. I was like, you just don't have what he has in the hair, but almost there.
That is the African American Saiyan look hairdo. That's the Super Saiyan hairdo. Anyways,
it was nuts.
Oh yeah, the Wayne brothers are crazy.
Trying to match up his guns with his shoes.
Oh my god!
Try to take this with this one.
We'll get into movies later, but let's not jump the gun. Okay, we're gonna mention. I was gonna mention about the Penta Cero Miedo thing, but dude went a AAA in Mexico, so he's not gonna go do the jump in WWE, which I recommend because the dude cannot speak a lick of English. So, like, if you can't speak the language, I mean, you ain't gonna be. I mean, there's only so much you can do in wrestling, and wrestling is not just about doing flashy moves. You got to talk to the people. You can't talk to it. It's not like back in the day when you had High and Tie. When you had a guy dubbing for the Indeed. You remember those days?
Yeah.
Anyways, this is a sports story that I mean I even had to copy paste the whole thing. I hope I'm not butchering this name because it's I think it's Arabic. Turki Alalshikh, chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, has presented Mike Tyson with the lucrative offer to rematch Jake Paul. Now, hear me out. Wait a minute. Before people start like, no, I ain't wasting my time on that crap again. Before you hear me, listen to this proposal. The proposed bout carries a potential purse of $700 million for Tyson. That's basically saying yes. Like, do you want me to bring guns? What do you want? Cremation? You actually want the body or you want it cremated? Cremated or burial? What you want? Wow. No. And let's go down to the details. He said that the fight needs to be real and Tyson must win by KO within 3 minutes. See, this is what the first one should have been. This is what the first one should have been.
Yeah, but we all knew that first one wasn't going to
be. No, because who was promoting it?
Who was
the promoter? It was Jake Paul. It was Jake Paul's camp.
You really thought Netflix was gonna let Tyson kill Jake Paul in the ring?
But we're going to international waters. We're going to do this in Saudi. The Oakland. I mean, they might offer $1 billion to Jake Paul. He was like, I'm not going to enjoy this money. I mean, you could offer me $3 billion. I'm not going to enjoy the money. It's like, I'm going to die. You're basically paying for my funeral arrangement, which is going to be the most expensive funeral arrangement in history. Mike Tyson said, you ain't gonna give me that much, man. You give me 100. You just give me $1 million. I'll smoke this kid. I'll send him to meet Allah in a second.
But the way Jake Paul would be freaking running in that ring for 3 minutes.
No, we bathe him in chloroform. We tap in that corner and went, Mike, go to town.
Oh,
Lord
man.
Jesus. Lord Jesus. Everybody be like, throw that money in that man. Give all the monies. Give all the monies to that man. Give him all the monies.
Why
Give
does
him
the
all the
pastor
money.
have a nice house?
How come? Pastor has a nice car, huh? Don't ask. I don't ask. I don't ask. No questions.
Just give the money.
Woo.
Oh.
Those Saudi governments just be like, oh, we bathing in all the monies now.
Oh boy, that boy's.
Yeah, Jake Paul be like, hello? Y'all talking about my money. Shut up, fool.
There's no
We're talking
way.
business here.
There's no way.
Paul agrees to
that fight, bro.
Like you can give Mike Tyson $8 billion. And Jake Paul's gonna be like, again, you're paying for my funeral.
Well, the money will go to your family.
Exactly. And whatever girl he got impregnated before.
No, that's his brother.
Oh.
No, his brother is engaged to that model, and they just had a baby.
Well, that's gonna be the most expensive baby. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that.
Like, you know how much your uncle love you? His love ain't gonna be kind of. You know how much your uncle love? He died.
He died for this money, but you're gonna enjoy it.
For this money, baby. He died. Like, you are the richest baby in the planet right now because your uncle loved you so much he'd rather die.
But does his brother still do WWE?
Sporadically.
Okay. So yeah, so he had a baby with Nina. Look, I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
They're good with money. They're good with money. They're good with money. Like, say what you will about them, but those guys know how to promote themselves. They know. They just know how to promote themselves. They're money magnets. So God bless them for their strategies because it's worked. Like half the country put that Netflix thing on lag just to see. Please, Mike, smoke him. Smoke him, Mike. Smoke this boy.
We knew that wasn't going to be a real fight.
And you saw in the fight that he stopped himself. Like, he had a clear shot in the head a few times. And probably was like, if you didn't pay me this money. If you didn't pay me, oh Lord, I would have knocked that head would have gone to the field goal. It would have been a field goal right now. That head would have just flown. Anyways, so
crazy. $700 million.
700 million. I mean, a boy can dream. All I'm saying, a boy can dream. A boy can dream. Like, you can imagine. I mean, he got 20 million just out of that fight right now, and this Arab dude, is just coming like a pile of money. He's like, by the way, it's international waters. You don't have to pay taxes on it. He's like, well,
yeah, Tyson.
Like, well.
Just name the place and time. I'll be
Yes,
there.
so where we're marking the grave. It's like, can we have the hole right there dug up already? Like, let's not wait. Let's not waste anything. And the girlfriend is like, "But no, you're gonna be a rich woman very soon. Right now, you're gonna be a very rich woman."
Wow, just wow.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so let's go talk about a little bit about movies that are currently in the making or already in production or stuff like that. Because the movie season right now is like, when I talk about, because I obviously haven't seen anything. What is it? The Rock is in 2 movies right now.
Yeah,
The
Moana
Red One and Moana 2.
yeah.
I haven't seen any of them, so I can't say anything because I'm not going to talk about some stuff I haven't seen. But apparently they did a screen test for Captain America 4. Brave New World, or the one that's Anthony Mackie is doing his version of Sam Wilson, Captain America, and Harrison Ford taking over the part for Thunderbolt Ross, or President Ross in this case. He's the president of the United States in the Marvel Universe, who becomes the Red Hulk. And apparently that test screening went bad. People were like, so they're scheduled to do more reshoots. This is the 4th reshoot that they done on this movie. So at what point you're gonna be like, let's just call a spade and say this sucks? I mean, Warner Brothers, who has not had the best track record making movies, we're looking at you, DCEU.
You said
it. Hey, I can say it. Look, I'm wearing a Batman t-shirt right now. I love DC. I've always been a DC file since I was a kid, because back when I was a kid, which was a long time ago, almost in black and white. All my memories almost were in black and white. Anyway, so yeah, I'm making fun of myself. And I already had the gray hair to prove that I'm old. So, back in the day, in terms of comic books, because there wasn't so much media out there, we're talking about 40 years ago. There wasn't media out there that it was like now, that everybody knows what Marvel is. Because Marvel is a household name. Marvel has beaten the bejesus out of DC in the movie department, because Marvel just turned out better quality product than DC. Whereas DC is like, it's just bad. One bad movie after another. But DC, there was a time that DC ruled, and there's a soft spot for me in DC. But what am I saying? DC were known as the one that sucked, whereas Marvel was known as the one that was good. But now I don't know what's going on, because they did another they also finished filming the Superman movie, the new DCU, run by James Gunn, who was the director of the 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He's now the Kevin Feige of DC. Whereas they even made their own studio, calling it DC Studios. So now they're going to do everything through there. And apparently Warner Brothers has no say on what the product is, because it's now a studio within the studio, and it's run like Marvel is. That Kevin Feige is the one he's the final say. So it's the same thing with James Gunn and the other dude. Apparently the Superman screen test were very positive. People like the movie, which is a breath of fresh air, because it's been a minute since DC had a decent movie. So I welcome that. I no hate on Marvel, because I honest to God love both. Like, you make me put a gun in my head and make me pick between one and the other, I'm like, blow my brains out. I can't pick one or the other. I can't. I love both. Like, I can't imagine my imagination as a kid. I love both, because guess what? Yes, DC was my favorite, but Spider-Man, I was like, no, Spider-Man is the dude, because Spider-Man was like the realest comic book character of them all, because this is a dude who actually had problems. Batman ain't had no problems. Oh, Joker's a problem, yeah. But then he went back home, swimming in all that money in that money tank. And Superman, oh, what was Superman? Oh, yeah, he's basically a god. He's basically a god. So he's like, oh, woe is me. Like, dude, you can cut all that problems real quick because nobody can touch you. Like, nobody can beat you. Nobody can like you just make things interesting for yourself. You're like, you're like a cat playing with a mouse. When they catch them, like, and you let them go for a minute. Come back here. Come back here. Let me go here. You're not going anywhere. So it's basically that. So yeah. Hopefully we get back on track with Marvel, and hopefully things get back on track with them. And I do hope that Captain America does good because the trailers look awesome. You've seen the trailers; they look good. I mean, that rendition they did for Red Hulk, it looks Chef's kiss.
I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen the trailers?
No, usually I go on YouTube, and that's like the first thing that usually pops up is stuff that are new like that.
Well, the trailers show how Red Hulk is going to look like. So this also they're saying that this is going to be the movie that's going to introduce adamantium to the MCU, sorry. And if you know what adamantium means, that is, Wolverine's claws are made of adamantium. And you'll be like, well, didn't we just see a movie just a few months ago with Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine? Well, Wolverine is from another universe in the movie. So he's not actually in the MCU per se, where Tony Stark and the rest of the guys, he's just in another universe. But in the main Marvel universe, there hasn't been any adamantium. So they're going to discover adamantium now. So basically, we're going to have a new Wolverine soon. But in the meantime, I guess they'll keep on using Hugh Jackman for, the Secret Wars and all that other stuff that they have planned, which we will get into when they come in. But speaking the MCU adjacent, because the owner of Marvel is Disney. Speaking of that, Disney wants to make a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and guess who they want back?
Must be Johnny Depp.
They want Captain Sparrow back. After all the crap, all the garbage this man went through with getting fired just because of an allegation which now has been proven via court, not by public opinion, through the court system, has been proven that he was not guilty. And the accuser has been found guilty. And it's been 2 years now, right? It's been like 2 years since that happened.
Something like that, yeah.
And 2 years later, and like 4 years after they fired him, because it was like 4 years ago that they fired him. Now they're like singing that song, "Baby, come back."
We miss you.
A little too late because the dude is long in the tooth now. He's in his 60s.
Is he that?
Yes. Wow. He must be like almost 60, and now he's really starting to show it. He's really starting to show it now, because I was like, this dude must bathe in milk. This dude must bathe in milk because he doesn't look his age. But now the age is starting to show. The age is really starting to show now. I mean, Father Time catches up with everybody. You can only look young forever up to a point.
61 years old.
Yep. No, he's not a pop. He's not a young boy. He's not a young boy. He just looks youthful all the time, but that's a hard life because he's not a good Christian boy. Just he's not a good Christian boy. He keeps it up. You know that old cliche of rock and roll lifestyle, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I think check and check.
Check.
Yeah, check and check. All right, yeah. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. He never should have been fired, by the way. Never should have been, but I mean, we got the same situation with Jonathan Mayers, but that's a whole nother ball of wax. We're not gonna go into that into deep.
That's it's just crazy to me, man. Like how he was like on top of the world, and just one woman screws everything up for him.
And I'm not saying, yeah. Go ahead, say it. You say it.
I'm not saying, that what we don't know what happened 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she dropped all the charges.
Yes, she did.
So, did he pay
that
her
makes
off?
You think? That makes you think.
Or did she cry wolf?
That makes you think. It makes you think.
The damage is already done.
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, the dude was on top of the world. He was getting all the parts, and now he's like starting from scratch. He's starting from scratch.
Does anyone want to touch it? Does anyone want to touch him? Like that.
And he's a great actor. He's a great actor. He's a very good actor. Well, it's just a shame.
I mean, at least he got a good girl on the side now.
Well, let's see. I don't know about that.
Megan Good?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the Lord has been good.
They're engaged.
The Lord is good.
Yeah, and they're engaged.
The Lord restores. What can I say? The Lord is like, the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. And this time he gaveth.
Yeah, he was like,
he gaveth. He gaveth.
This girl messed you up. I'll give you a better one.
And just going a little bit into comic books. I know we very rarely we talk about comics, but I'm a comic book. I mean, you see the back here of just diarrhea of comic books.
You're into comic books?
No, who would have known? Like when you're here and record here, like we don't display all the Funkos and all the trade paperbacks that I have. We don't display them at all. It's like, who wants to know if I'm a nerd? Anyways, to the surprise of even yours truly, I was surprised. The number one selling comic book of the year so far, I would have sure said it would have been Ultimate Spider-Man, because that comic was on fire. That comic was great. It's like a reinvention of the Spider-Man story, but instead of having a young Peter Parker get bitten by the spider, is a Peter almost 40 getting bit by the spider and having kids and wife and kids. So it was like a reinvention of the story. Peter even has a beard like me in the story. He has a beard. So he's already a grown man, and he's learning how to be Spider-Man as a grown man. So it's a little different take about it, and I love that comic book. I got it since issue 1. I haven't been buying more recently, but that comic book it's like the best Spider-Man story in recent years, because the main universe Spider-Man is like, anyway. But the number one selling comic book this year is Absolute Batman. Now, Absolute Batman, for those of you who don't know, there's a separate universe. Like DC was like, okay, let me copy that example. Just looked at Marvel and was like, oh, you got an Ultimate Universe? Let me do an Alternate Universe. We can't call it Ultimate because that would be like very on the nose. So let's call Absolute Universe. Okay, so the Absolute Universe is like Darkseid created a separate pocket universe where the main anchor, because in DC the main anchor of the universe is Superman. Mm-hmm. He's like the end all be all. But in this pocket universe, the anchor being of this universe is Batman. And this is not your traditional Batman. This is like a 7'4", 380-pound version of Batman. So he's like Bane on even more steroids. Just full of spikes everywhere. His cape is it's Batman on Beyond Beast mode. Like, this Batman just kills you just by looking at you. It's like he don't even have to fight, and this Batman don't play. I mean, the only thing he doesn't do is kill. But then afterwards, I mean, he in one comic, in one panel, he even chopped the dude's hands off. Because, by the way, his emblem in his chest is not the same logo as the one you're seeing here in my T-shirt. He has like a very like rectangular logo, and then you realize what? It's such an ugly design, but then you realize it's actually an axe. He just pulls it out of his chest and sticks it on a stick, and then he go to work with that. So this is like medieval, and you're like, what? This is a medieval story? No, this is actually working in the real world. And by the way, this Bruce Wayne, without the costume, he's like 6'7", without the costume, and without the costume, he weighs 300 pounds. So this is a beefy boy.
It's a big boy.
But it's 300 pounds of pure freaking muscle. It's just pure muscle. We're talking about Dorian Yates in 94. It's just muscle on top of muscle on top of muscle. And this dude, and he's not a rich boy in this one, by the way. He's not a rich boy. He doesn't have all the monies in this one. He's an architect, and he works for the city because he was an orphan because he lost his dad, but his mom is still alive in this universe. His mom is alive. And Alfred is a mercenary who was sent out to figure out who Batman is. Because it's a reinvention of the whole story. It's not like, oh, but what about Robin? What about the Joker is now being introduced, and he's a tycoon. The Joker is like a millionaire, and he's a tycoon. By the way, and all the bad guys, they're Batman's childhood friends from the orphanage. All the bad guys, they know Bruce Wayne from they were kids, and they know each other. And Batman kind of tolerates their bad doing because he knows where they came from. So he rocks with the ones that are like morally better persons than the other ones. The ones that are like truly, truly bad, that's like, you gots to go. You gots to go. So I'm just giving you an overview of the comics so far. And people were like pissed to a point because they were like looking at the design as like, this is not Batman. It doesn't look like, the only thing that looks like Batman is the cowl. Then afterwards, everything else is like, the cowl, the mask.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that looks like Batman. Everything else is like, this is like a medieval knight with the Batman mask on. Because he doesn't even have gloves. He has like wraparounds on his arms. And the thing is that he patented the cape. It's not necessarily a cape. It's like wraps, but they're mechanical and they can grab things. And grab is complicated, but it's cool at the same time. It's like a different version of Batman that you never saw before. And it's a very, very dark take on the character as well. So this is the #1 selling comic right now. I mean, they have to even reprint the first edition. They have to reprint it like 3 times already. Because it's selling like hotcakes. It's selling like hotcakes. So everybody wants it. I mean, when I bought my Ultimate Spider-Man one, I had the 4th printing of that one because the first one just went out like that. It went off like that. It went off the shelves. I had to take the 4th printing, and I didn't care. I was like, I got issue 1. That's all I care about. Like, I'm not. Yeah. I don't sell my comics. I'm not like into that. I do take care of them, but I don't sell them. I just want them for my personal collection. That's all. So
that's good for them.
Yeah. So look, it's like I said. I was telling a friend of mine. Movie department, Marvel got DC beaten. Like they're just dead. It's like that the old Simpson meme. Stop it! He's already dead.
Yeah.
Basically. Marvel got him beat. But then in the cartoons and in the comic books, DC is like, hold my beer. They got him. It's just like, look, if you look at my wall, like 80% of my stuff here is DC because it's just the best stories. Marvel got some great stories and some good writers because it's basically the same writers in DC. There is no loyalty like, oh, I'm staying with this company or that company. Even the guy that invented most of the characters of Marvel, Jack Kirby, he even went and worked at DC. And he created some of the best characters he created Darkseid. So, like, the greatest villain that DC has ever had. Thank you, Jack Kirby. Thank you, Jack Kirby, the guy who basically created the competition. Him and Stanley created the competition. Because, like, those two practically created Marvel 50-50. Those two, basically, they just cut the dividends 50-50. Anyways, you have something to add to all this to all this amalgam of Nerdfest that we just did right now?
No, I mean, we're ready.
You're ready.
Good time.
And you're ready to let out of your chest your feelings towards a certain green team.
Yeah, just I know you said they haven't made a signing yet, but
we gotta go.
Juan Soto's looking like he's gonna make over $700 million on his next contract for at least 15 years. They're supposed to be saying that the Yankees and the Mets are going at it, and they're between 710 and 730 for 15 years. So it's looking like he's approaching the $50 million mark.
So this boy gonna get paid.
But what I really was mentioning it for is because I don't know if you saw, but Saturday Night Live did a skit last night.
No, I didn't. I hadn't seen it yet.
I think I sent it to you on Instagram.
Yeah, but I think I was probably busy. I was at church at that time.
So it was basically saying like, so where do you want to be? Because I really want to be the Yankees, so I'm hoping that they give me the best offer. And they go, we would like to see you. And he's like, they were like, it'll be great if you give back to the needy. And he goes, okay, so I'll sign with the Mets. I don't know if I can get it. It's better when you hear it.
That was a dig.
Yeah, it was freaking hilarious.
That was a dig. I mean, I don't know. That's a dig. Yeah, that's a dig.
Let me see.
What team do you think you're
Can
going
you hear
to
it?
pick?
Yeah.
I don't know. Right now, I hope the Yankees make me the best offer.
Well, as a Christian, I have to ask you, why not spend your time helping and money helping the needy and the less fortunate?
You're right. Maybe I sign with the Mets.
So then you might as well tell us, what team do you think?
Ouch. Ouch. Like, if you're a Mets fan, you'll be like, that was uncalled for. This season we went to postseason this year. That is uncalled for. If I were a Mets fan.
Yeah. So
if I were a Mets fan.
I mean, at the end of the day, they were supposedly saying that he's going to sign before the winter meetings. The winter meetings, I believe, started today. So maybe by the time we record our next podcast,
we would know.
We would know where Juan Soto is going to end up.
We want him in pinstripes.
We want him in pinstripes, but we want him in the Yankee pinstripes.
Exactly, because the Mets kind of want to like.
Not the
we
Mets
got pinstripes. We got ownership over that thing. We've been using them since day one. We've been using them pinstripes since day one. You lease them every once in a while.
Yeah, so I mean, there's some other news, but they're not really important. The most important story going into baseball this off season is Juan Soto, where he's going to sign next. So
correct.
Yankees are working on Plan B, but some of those Plan B options are already off the board. So we'll see.
So it's now Soto or nothing.
So it's Soto. I mean, some of the pieces that were part of the Plan B are still out there. I mean,
they let go a bunch of. They let go a lot of people.
Well, a lot of people contract ended. Like you're not gonna. You most likely won't see Gleyber Torres or Anthony Rizzo in the Yankee uniform again. So they're looking for a second baseman or they're looking for a third baseman. depending on what they want to do with Jazz Chisholm, because he's technically a second baseman when he first came into the league. And we're looking for a first baseman, which our options are still on the table for a first baseman. So let's see what happens. I think a lot more signings will happen once Soto signs, because then you have to really look at Plan B for everybody. He's the biggest chip on the table right now, and a lot of money coming his way.
You know what? Good thing is Dodgers are not into this sweepstakes, so that's a good thing.
Well,
they might make a bid.
They might make a bid. I mean, a lot of reports are saying that they're still in it, but
and I guess
he's
they
not going to defer money to be on the Dodgers. Now,
so he want to get as much as he can now.
Yeah, I mean, who's to say if he goes to the Mets or the Yankees that he's not going to defer money, but not as much as the Dodgers need him to take.
Yeah, because they can't pay that now.
I mean, they already got like one. I think we said this last week, and shout out to my friend Will, kind of explaining to us on our Instagram page.
Yeah,
that Husky Babu.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but
I saw.
Basically,
it. I wasn't even gonna text you. I was like, "Can you respond to this because you're more knowledgeable about this situation than I am."
Yeah. So shout out to him. He listens to us. So it's just they're at like $1 billion of deferred money right now. So
okay.
Yes, it's like a loophole in contracts, but like, come on. Like, there has to be a limit to how much you can really defer. And I understand it's money coming in, it's money going out, but it's really, it needs to stop now. And Soto, I don't think, is going to want to defer that much money to make it work for the Dodgers.
Making a bold prediction. He's New York bound. Now, which New York team? I don't know.
Oh, for sure he's New York bound. I don't think the Red Sox are in it. Well, the Red Sox made an offer. The Blue Jays made an offer.
Yeah, but I think he's staying put. I think he's staying put in New York. But which
he's definitely
New York?
Staying in New York. I think if the Yankees, because he came out and said that he likes batting in front of Judge. He loves how Judge is a leader on the team, and he just loves the aura of the locker room, how he presents himself in the locker room.
And he got a whiff of it this year. He got a taste of it,
and that's another thing.
It was so close. That it was like touching the hem of the garment, like just barely touching it.
Now, yes, the Mets made the playoffs, but
that's a fluke. Let's call a spade a spade. That's a fluke.
I give credit where credit is, but the Mets already lost Luis Severino to the A's, so that's one part of your bullpen part of your starting rotation. Like, yeah, he wasn't really. He won games for you. He was almost like your ace last year with Manaea, and Manaea's not even signed because everything is waiting for Juan Soto.
Yeah, everybody wants to put their ducks in a row, but they got to kill this big beast first.
And that's why I think Soto wants to sign, to let teams do what they need to do to get. So, yes. So most likely
you think he's going to nip it in the bud right now?
I'm hoping by next time we record that he's signed, and he's signed to the right New York team.
Okay, so you think he's going to nip it in the bud?
Yeah.
Okay. So
because both New York teams need.
Yeah, they need to move. They need to move quick because
Yeah, and the winter meetings.
Time is fleeting, and people are signing. Because they're not going to stay in here wait for Juan to make his decision. They'll be like, well, I got to feed my family too.
Exactly, and that's why some of the Plan B options for the Yankees are already gone.
They're fleeting.
Yeah, and it's not like they're making, the shortstop they were looking at, 7 years, $182 million.
Yeah,
and he had one of his best years last year. He's gonna end his career with that team, and he's not gonna have to worry about where his money's gonna come from.
I'm over 50% sure he's gonna resign with the Yankees. I know the Mets have more money, technically speaking.
Yes, the Mets have more money. Yes, the owner is rich. Yes, he doesn't mind the luxury tax. But
The prestige,
yeah, it's
the
just
pedigree is not there. The pedigree is with the Yankees. The pedigree is in
I
the
don't
Yankees.
want to sound like a Yankee boy, but come on, it's the Yankees
Look,
versus the
look,
Mets.
look. I'm
Like,
sorry, we're biased. Both of us are biased. Both of us are extremely biased because we're Yankee fans through and through. But you gotta call a spade a spade. The only two of these teams that has the pedigree is the Yankees. I'm sorry. Like, no hate towards the Mets. God bless you what you did this year. You put your fans, you gave them a good year of it this year for the fans. And your fans love you and God bless them. But if you're going to talk about what is the actual prestige team, the high tier teams, the Yankees are right up there because guess what? Yankees is the winningest franchise in MLB.
Yankees are the most winningest franchise in sports history.
Need I say more? Need I say more?
I think the closest team next to them, I think, is the Boston Celtics with like 14 or
Yeah.
15 championships.
Yeah.
Yankees
So there,
have
we
27
gave
World
Boston their
Series.
flowers there. We gave Boston their flowers there.
Well, the Celtics took freaking basketball by the freaking horns,
By the throat.
by the throat.
They just choked it out of existence.
What was it in the 70s and 80s?
It was like basically they were just waiting for the finals. Okay, so here's the ring. Everybody, here's your ring.
You guys don't even need to play.
Yeah, we
Just
didn't
here's
even
the
play.
ring.
You want to go? You want to suffer? Or just want to see the ceremony? Which one? Like y'all decide. Oh, you want to suffer? Okay, Bill Russell, go do your thing.
So that's my saying it. But I just thought that skit was a funny thing.
Yeah, but my inclination is that he's gonna sign with the Yankees. I could be wrong. I'm no expert. I don't know. I don't know the dude. I wish I did.
If it was it's so tight knit that they said the only people that probably know where he wants to go, it's him and his family. I don't even think his agent knows.
At the end of the day, it's his
just
choice.
taking calls. I think the agent's just taking calls and be like, "Oh, Juan, the Yankees just went up this. Hey, Juan, the Mets just went up this. What do you want to do? Let's hold on."
Okay.
The longer the wait, the more money he's gonna take. I mean, but like I said, by the next week when we do this podcast, he's gonna be signed.
And hopefully is where he needs to be.
I couldn't even give you how I feel 50-50 or not. I don't know. Like I feel like I feel lost.
I'm being optimistic. I want him to stay. I mean, it.
Oh, look, I want him to stay 100%. But
this is the main thing. Do you want money, or do you want money with prestige? That's the thing. That's the bottom line here. You want money, or you want money with prestige? Because yeah, they're gonna put the franchise on you. If you go to the Mets, they're gonna build the team around you. Yes, but like, dude, you're gonna start from scratch basically. Whereas you go to the Yankees, you're already proven that these guys can go to work. These guys can do. There's some improvements here and there that needs to be done, but you already got a taste of it. That they can do it. That they have the desire.
But here's the crazy thing with me, and hear me out. And I know we're past our time.
Don't matter.
Okay. I love Juan Soto just as much as any Yankee fan does. He's a great player. But now, we saw what Ohtani got. Okay.
All the monies.
But Ohtani bats and pitches. And most
That's a
likely
whole
going to
different
do
breed.
that.
It's a whole different breed.
Yeah, and he's most likely going to do that next year. Now, do I want to give Juan Soto, person that only bats maybe 4 times a game, plays every game? I'm not going to give him that. I'm not going to say he doesn't. because he's in that lineup every single day, except for the one time he went to the game.
But against his will.
Against his will. The dude bats 285 and only averages about 25 home runs. Now, I'm listening to people call this sports radio and says, do I really want to spend that money on a guy that just bats 285 and hits about 25 home runs a year?
But he's a clutch hitter. He's a clutch hitter.
But what these people are not understanding is yes, he won a World Series with Washington. But he never hit in front. He never hit in front of a hitter like Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge makes you shake in your boots in the regular season. Now, when it comes to the playoffs,
let's not go there.
We're not gonna go there.
Let's not go there.
But he's no Derek Jeter.
Oh, that's true.
But Juan Soto had a career year batting in front of who? So, yes, he only bats 285 career. Yes, he only averages 25 home runs. This year, he bat 288 with 41 home runs and 109 RBIs. So, he's 26 years old.
He's still got the rest of his life.
He still has another, most likely,
like 15 years.
Yes, 15 years is most likely going to be the amount on the contract. But really, the end of that contract, Juan Soto is going to be just a DH.
Yeah.
But
and you heard the golden bat rule that they want to implement in 2026?
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to happen.
That's basically cheating. That's basically cheating.
I also saw a pitcher who used to be a Yankee, Jameson Taillon, basically says, how about a golden infield
pitcher?
Or outfield thing? Like, when the one batter is up, we can put an extra outfielder out in the outfield or put an extra person in the infield.
Like, yeah, if you want to pick and choose, it's like, oh, you want to cheat? Let's cheat.
But baseball has to evolve. And
I understand, but that's a touch much.
I don't even like the ghost runner rule. Yes, you want to end games faster for these kids. But what about the old time that sat through games, 4 or 5 hour games, because they went to like 18, 20 innings?
Like, I understand changes and the game evolving, but this is a little too much too quick. You know, like, give it season a bit. These things, like some of the implementations that they did, didn't they try it like first in AAA? So
they tried in the minors first. I think it's like really low ball, like single A or maybe even lower, amateur.
Okay.
And then they move it up the ranks if it works good. I do see robot pumps coming.
Yeah, that is a thing. I think it's by 2026 as well.
I think they're going to try it in AAA this year, and I think if I remember correctly, I think they might try it in spring training.
This year?
Yeah.
But just spring training is
just spring training. Nah, not in the. Yeah, I think they're just going to try it in spring training, just like they did with the pitch clock. They tried it in spring training, then they didn't do it in the regular season. Then they were like, you know what, we're going to put it in.
Okay.
And they even tweaked that. Like, everything is a try and error. They got to tweak things. I'm not saying like everything is perfect the moment it comes out, because games are different in AAA than they are in major leagues.
Okay.
Like, a lot of these major leagues players are seasoned compared to what you're doing in AAA. The game's played almost the same, yeah, but not a lot of it, are the same.
Okay.
But, anyway, to go back to what it's saying, yeah, I hear a lot of sports radio and a lot of people are saying, do I really want to pay? Listen, guy's 26. You got probably another good 11 years, 12 years max
Of him
And
being
if
the
he could,
same player that he is now.
him being and he's not the greatest outfielder. I understand, but the guy can hit the ball like you wouldn't believe.
He's a clutch hitter. He's
And he
clutch.
walks. If this dude wants to walk, he'll walk. That guy can walk anytime he wants to. So if he does a Tom Brady and is great for the next 15 years of his contract,
Amen.
then you got to eat your words. But we don't know because we can't tell the future.
Yeah.
So
Look, it's a risk either way, but after what I saw this year, I said keep the dude. Because he hustled. He did everything he did.
we gave up a few good pieces for him. And
But he showed up. He showed up.
He showed up, but I'm just hoping that they got some kind of word to be like, yeah, we're, don't worry, you got a great chance for me to be on the team. And they better just keep up with the Mets, because if you're close to the Mets, I believe he'll stay.
Yeah.
So, on that note.
Yeah, on that note, reminder, T-Public, still some, 30-40% off. I mean,
35%.
Okay. Well, you're more on top of that than I am. And because I'm the one that makes it.
I get the text messages all the time from ordering last time.
Anyway, so yeah,
stickers and stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not only T-shirts, people. You got stickers, magnets, hats. Yeah, like you can see here, and also cell phone cases. Yeah, cell phone cases, even laptop cases. Yeah, those are a thing. if you're one of those, flimsy people that just like throw the laptops away, you need some protection of that. Might as well cover it with some designs from yours truly. And keep the ball rolling because, again, YouTube ain't paying squat. Yet. HuskyByBooPod.com, where the website where you can listen to all the previous podcasts from us. Social media, Husky by Boo Media on Instagram. And our personal Instagram links, Dad Ariel Duran and Johnny Boy 426. So, thank you for watching and listening to the Husky Babu. Until next week.
Peace out, everybody. Have a good week.
Take care.